She went to Atlanta. So bear with us because I have never used this. And but basically what we're here is to show you how you can take any lesson, anything in your lesson plan, and make it an interactive whiteboard lesson. We're using an e-beam, which turns any whiteboard into an interactive whiteboard, but you can do it with a smartboard, Promethean board. What's that little thing downstairs, that Mobi InterWrite thing? So, but the main point that we want to get across is if you have the technology in your school, the software, the hardware, or whatever, your teachers are not going to use it. If they encounter what we encountered, they're going to throw their hands up and walk away because it's too hard. They need coaching. They need somebody to come in there, show them how to do it, work with them, then let them try it, and go back and forth, and then they'll finally be on their own. So that's kind of what we're doing today. So I guess I'll try to do. Where's the thing?
Gosh, this computer. We were here yesterday on perfectly. Push the button on the pen.
That little one?
And see if it'll come up the bottom. Now on the pen, there's two. Just everything's going slow. I don't know what to do.
Well,
move here
that
first.
way.
Okay. Okay. Gosh. There. Okay.
Okay, so here's a cartoon of this kid, and he's looking at an old-fashioned chalkboard saying, where are the icons? What do I click on? He doesn't even know how to use a chalkboard because since he was 1 year old, he was using technology, and the teacher is just light years behind him already. I might have to click it, unless I'm not doing that. Where'd the wheel go?
Click the little small button on the pen. Oh, it's just so slow. It's moving. Something's happening. It's great when it works.
This is a perfect example. The next slide is another cartoon, and it just has, it has a little kid, here he is, she is, and she's telling her mom, my teacher doesn't even know how to spell. She spells U-Y-O-U, everybody's texting, She spells return, B-R-B, that stands for? Be right back. And BFN, bye for now. Does anybody know any other text shortcuts? Laugh out, LOL, laugh out loud.
TTYL, talk to you later.
TTYL, talk to you later. That's a good one. See, she's texting. She's a texter. You can tell who the texters are in the room. This thing is nice.
It just went off. The colors.
All right. Whoa, that's slow.
This is why teachers stop using technology.
It helps to have a newer laptop. This is an old one. Okay, so this is the model that the coaching uses. It's a gradual release of responsibility. So when you get to the classroom, it's I do. This is the teacher watches while the coach models. So a coach comes in, uses the technology, takes the lesson plan, puts it into an interactive lesson. This is what a teacher is not yet able to do because they probably went to the professional development training that you had to go to, that the smartboard company offered at your school, and that's all they got. And then they have a smartboard and they say, okay, go use it, go do interactive. So this is when the coach comes in and does everything. The we do is when the teacher and the coach work together. So this is what a teacher can do with the support. So the teacher will do some, the coach will give them feedback, and they'll work together. And the you do is when the teacher is finally on her own, she feels confident with the technology. And this is on your handout. It's that continuum on the back of one of the pages. It's the little boxes. It shows the order, it's kind of where your teachers are at. Where are you and how comfortable you are with the technology. So novice is the first one. This is where you've attended the whole group training, you appreciate the technology, but you haven't had an opportunity to use it in your classroom. The beginner, you start to use the technology on a more regular basis, but you're using it more as a PowerPoint or projector than an actual interactive lesson. So maybe you pull some videos. Katie's been in a lot of classrooms and they show movies. They're using it, but they're showing the movies or whatever. So the next is intermediate or breakthrough stage, where you're really starting to get comfortable and using it for your lessons and interacting with it, having kids come up. Advanced, you're kind of the go-to person in the eyes of the other teachers in your building. If they want to use it with a lesson, they're coming to you and asking you questions. And then the last is an expert, which is an expert. Okay, now this is the lesson that Dr. Tenori got. She went to a classroom, they were doing a lesson on bones, and she took everything and made it interactive. So this is the sheet protector handout.
And the front sheet, the infer predict sheet, does not look like what you're going to see on the board, because we're going to make this interactive.
Okay. So it says predict, preview the text, looking for signal words, determine the text structure. So this text, bones, living tissue, is probably going to be a descriptive text, nonfiction. So you talk about that. And then she had matched the text with a graphic organizer, which isn't part of this lesson on the board, but predicting, during and after reading, look at the title of the passage. So your kids are looking at the title, bones, living tissue. We're going to predict whether these two statements are true or false. So bones are alive. Just from the title of the passage, do you think it's true or false? True. And yeah, you always have to go back to get the pen. Okay, so that's true. And what about adults have more bones than infants? You think that's false?
Yeah, false.
Okay. Okay, so that we predicted that. Then
Now, we want you to turn the page over, and we're going to read the first paragraph of the text.
so y'all don't have it?
This
Yeah,
is
Yes, but.
bones, living tissue, it's on the back.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Will somebody read the paragraph out loud?
If you have earrings on, let's
Oh,
read it.
that's what we're going to do. Choral reading. If you have earrings. Some people do not realize. Come on, earrings.
If you have earrings on, we're going to read it together.
Say 1, 2, 3. Okay, sorry. You know we have to do it. 1, 2, 3. Some people do not realize that bones are alive. Bones are made of living tissue. Calcium, phosphorus, and bone cells make up our bones. Infants have about 350 bones in their bodies. However, an adult body contains only 206 bones. That means that an infant has over 140 more bones in his body than an adult. The reason for this difference is bone fusion. As infants begin to grow and develop, some of their bones fuse or grow together. Okay, so let's look back at our predictions. Bones are alive based on the reading. Were we correct? Yes. Bones are alive. Who can find this sentence in the paragraph where we know that bones are alive? It's the very first sentence. So you could have a student come up and that sentence too. And put sentence 1 and 2. And 2. Okay. And paragraph 1.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We in that section of that.
But that's another way we can say it. We can just say line 3, because you're teaching your students
Say
every
line
line
3.
isn't necessarily a whole sentence.
3, 4.
So that's how you're making, where this might normally be a pencil and paper thing. Kids love coming up and using the technology. So now, we're going to infer people have many bones. What does this make me think? People have many bones. When you think about that, what comes to mind?
The skeleton system.
People are complex. Okay. Is that? So I might have you come up with people are complex. Blah 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 blah. Why do we top of the food chain? Okay.
As we age, we have fewer bones. I mean, from that first the older we get
It makes me think of people shrinking when they get older. Elderly, you know. Okay, so
little button.
and see, if you were a teacher, you would not want to get up in front of your class and do this unless you knew how to do it. Unless you're used to, okay, every time I switch slides, I have to select the mouse, and you knew all the steps to take. And for conclusion, and this is all on this worksheet, and this is something that your class would get used to the routine of doing. You could break into groups and write a paragraph, a conclusion about bones, and you would read the whole paragraph. So we're not another way to tie in the technology. And we're not clicking on that link because we're having too many issues. So we already had it pulled up on the other one, the first tab. Especially if you are an elementary teacher. Is anybody elementary? So here.
Okay.
And the kids love this. And they want to get up out of their seat, so and it has the words keep track.
The foot bone's connected to the leg bone. The leg bone's connected to the knee bone. The knee bone's connected to the thigh bone. Doing the skeleton dance. The thigh bone's connected to the hip bone. The hip bone's connected to the backbone. The backbone's connected to the neck bone. Doing the skeleton dance. Shake your hands to the left.
And you'd be surprised how much even older kids like doing their hands
Hands in the air.
That's it.
Hands outside.
I don't know if I can do skeleton.
Shake your hands to the left. Shake your hands to the right. Put your hands in the air.
We have dance competition. You can have groups to come up and do it.
Tim bones, tim bones, tim. Dancing bones, tim bones, tim bones, tim. Dancing bones, tim bones, tim bones, tim. Dancing bones, doing the skeleton dance.
And you can pull sound clips in that, the bones of dry bones, isn't that what the song is that a lot of gospel choirs sing? You can pull that up. You can pull so many things up.
Trick or treat, give me.
And then the kids say, oh, we want to watch that one too.
Well, the number we run into is YouTube is not accessible. Especially
I
now.
know.
SchoolTube and TeachTube you can.
So TeachTube is another.
TeachTube and SchoolTube it isn't accessible.
And the group that was in here before us, that's after us, they were watchknow.org, www.watchknow.org, and they said they have 17,000 videos, 20% of them were not YouTube, and they are working with the schools to get their site to be unblocked,
So
to where you
accessible.
can't, because it's kid friendly. I'll pass this around.
Teach two, and school two. The next, I'm gonna show a little clip when I get up, and it's from school two. And, I accessed it at school, and it's fine.
Okay, so maybe you're on day 2 or 3 or 4 of your lesson, and you can have kids come up and highlight, say, okay, well, we did the skeleton dance, we learned the foot bone, the knee bone, the hip bone, but all those bones have scientific names that we have to learn. So have somebody come up and highlight the femur bone. So if you use the highlighter, whatever your picture is under it, it doesn't cover it up. If you use the pen, you know, you're writing, pretty sure, you see how it covers it up. So you use the highlighter. You can pick different colors. And they would love coming up and choosing their own color, being individuals. Okay, highlight the pelvic bone. So you're going to learn that. And then maybe the next day, or in preparation for a quiz, now they don't have the labels. Come up and draw the line and write the names. And this is just all a lesson plans that a teacher had that Katie put on the board instead of passing out worksheets. So everybody can do it. It's more fun. You bring videos. And now Kim used Smartboard and Promethean board all year for her small group for teaching reading. So
I don't know if you all have Smartboard or Promethean boards. When I would go to use their curriculum, it never matched what I was doing. I mean, the sounds for phonics lessons wouldn't be in the order that I was teaching them. So what I've done is taken a phonics lesson that I had with my class, and I have a group of 6 at a round table, and we're pretty close to the board, and if I get in front of the projector, I have not, but you know, it hangs down, and the kids actually go up to the board and highlight sounds and things that we're working on, okay? And they got so excited. It was just so much better. Before, they would just have this sheet in front of them, and the kids at the table still have the sheet in front of them. But then I just called them up, and I mean, it helped with discipline. They weren't acting so silly because they wanted their turn at the board and things like that. Okay? So this was the phonics lesson. It was unit 27. And we're working on the sound, as in brother and sister. Okay? And we would all say and I would say, can you come up here and I want you to highlight the sounds that say Would you like to come up? No? Come on now, you have fun.
Yes.
Okay? Alright, and watch the board, but I want you to highlight in each word the 2 letters that make that sound. Very good, thank you. Okay. Mouse click. Okay, what happened? What's the answer? Go back to the beginning.
I got let us do this.
Okay, now we're going to decode a word together. And I have them make the first syllable, say the sounds, and after. Then I would have a student come up, I went too fast. Then I would have another student come up and highlight again. But it wasn't words that I was just thinking off the top of my head. It was from the phonics sheet that came with my reading series. Okay? Now, the next word, these are words we've had before in here, and we're just practicing sounding out. So I'd have the student come up, and I would actually have the kids come up and say, I would have them teach the lesson. Come up here, and one of the children would come up and they'd say, what sound? And then they highlight it. And then we go back. Mouse. Okay, now let's read the word. But. Because the kids that get up and actually teach the lesson learn more, and once you taught the lesson, you know it, you own it. Then we go to the next word. Say it quickly, but. I'd have that student sit